Hey guys, it is Nick bringing you another video. This time it is over my monk on Diablo 3. This is patch 2.1 on Reaper of Souls. So it is the expansion. This is not vanilla or legacy. So I will just be going over my build and my gear, the reason why I chose it, and all that. I've had a lot of questions over it when I run in game with people. Everybody always wants to know what it is, so I figured I would post it up. I've seen a lot of pretty terrible quote-unquote ZDPS monks, so I figured I would get this out there and maybe you guys could help me improve mine or give me tips and pointers on other things that work, because I do not know every item in the game, so who knows. So first I'm going to go over the skills, starting with the passives. The link to my profile below, so you can check that out. It does not show the fourth passive, which is Harmony. 40% of your single elemental resistances from items instead increases your resistance to all elements. I run that. You could run Resolve, would be really good. But with this build, it's kind of unnecessary only because teammates aren't supposed to get hit. You're not really too worried about it either, but if you want to, Resolve is a very good fourth passive. From there, I use near-death experience, just in case you ever get knocked down that low, which you normally don't, but sometimes you do, depending on the amulet that you wear. You can't control everything, so Beacon and Etar reduce all cooldowns. I run that obviously for blinding flash, even Serenity. All of your skills having that cooldown bonus is great, especially since you can stack it on gear as well and you can really abuse it. And then I use Unity. Since they're affected by all mantras, I use that. They get a 5% increased DPS, which is pretty significant. So once again, if you didn't want to use that, you can replace it with something else, like I can throw in Resolve, or you can use Exalted Soul, which really helps. Moving to the actual skills, Blinding Flash, and then I use Self-Reflection Rune. Flashes them for 6 seconds instead of, 3 seconds. So honestly, if you get enough cooldown, you can actually just keep them flashed the whole time, and you wouldn't even need Sledge Fist to start this build. Next one is Epiphany with Desert Shroud. You reduce damage taken for 50%. Pretty self-explanatory. Serenity. I'll use Ascension, get that extra second. You could use other runes if you want to. Never really dove too deep into the other ones, so this one's always worked for me because I never really need it too often. It's just when you get frosted or whenever you see the little annoying frost things on the ground, I normally pop this as soon as they explode. That way you come out of it and you can keep them stunned. Mystic Ally, Air Ally. Whenever you activate it, you gain 100 spirit, and then it increases your spirit regen by 4, which isn't anything too significant, but it still helps. Cyclone Strike Implosion. Obviously the main point of this build, so basically just keep all the mobs on you at all times. You'll see me when I use this, I'll even run through and just kind of pull trash mobs along with me until we get to a bigger area so they don't have to waste time laying sentries down. So basically you want to spam that as much as you can. So with the other things that you run, you shouldn't really run out of spirit, but sometimes it does happen. You have to rely on your main attack to keep them stunned and stop them from running. So as our main, the spirit generating attack that I use and the main attack that you will constantly have held down is going to be Crippling Wave with Breaking Wave Rune. They take, enemies hit takes 10% additional damage from all attacks. I'm honestly not sure if that applies. I'm honestly not sure if that applies to everybody around them or not. I've never really looked into it. It's just always been the skill that I've used. You know, so you could always use something else, I suppose, if you want, but I have found that for me, that has definitely been the best one. You can use concussion as well. They deal 20% less damage, so once again, that's stacking with what is it, resolve. That and on top of your gear, pretty good. You can use tsunami, which is freezing damage. Breaking wave, which is they take additional damage. I'm not sure once again if that's from all attacks, but I believe it's the lightning rune, which is going to go with some of the gear that we have on, which will be explained in a second. So, skipping up to gear, the shield, basically you want as much toughness from this as possible. Vitality, all res, life, those are really the only things that you care about. Secondaries, you can get, reduces damage from melee attacks. You can get all those sorts of things. Those are always good, but the main thing is going to be, life and resistance. Obviously, dexterity does not matter. You can get intel items, which is going to raise your res as well, but I'd rather have vitality, life percent, all res. So I wear 3 pieces of Blackthorn's boots, pants, amulet, self-explanatory. You get the immunity and plus all the other bonuses that you get from that. I wear Ancient Parthen Defenders. Each enemy stunned within 25 yards reduces your damage taken by 11%. Very significant. Ring of Royal Grandeur, obviously have to wear that. I wear Wreath of Lightning inside of it, 15% chance on hit to gain a Wreath of Lightning, dealing 800% damage as lightning every second to enemies, whatever, 3 seconds. Basically lightning damage. And the reason being is the next ring is Word. Not really sure how you say that, but lightning damage has a 15% chance to stun for 1.5 seconds. And then in that I have Wall Under Control, impairing effects, reduce damage taken by 30%. So a lot of the reduced damage is going to stack with this build very immensely. So you'll notice a significant difference when you get all these things. I actually had this built completely different up until this point, but this is my first playthrough with this, and it's phenomenal. I mean, for the most part, my life doesn't even go down until it's like Arcane Sentry, Lightning, and a whole bunch of other things to where it's just so much elemental damage coming in. But even then, I still didn't die through a T6 Rift. Next thing is Ashira's. You wear the gloves and the shoulders. You get, with Rorg, obviously 3 set bonus, so 100 all res, 20% life. You could roll these to something completely different. I'm not sure if there's shoulders and gloves out there that have something that can better, for 2 pieces. I'm not very sure there could be, but it's very possible, so it's always something to check out. And then the next main thing is Sledge Fist, the weapon. Mine is 43.5% chance to stun on hit. So once again, the whole point of this build is to keep things stunned and immobilized, so your buddies can just kind of go through wreck and you're just staying there taking all the damage. I will play around with more builds. It's very possible that this video will get updated or my build will be updated, so if you ever have any questions, just browse my profile, take a look at the monk, and whatever skills are on there is going to be what I've found, and maybe I'll make another video saying why it's better. But for the most part, this setup right here really works. And is actually very easy to come across. It's normally just old junk that you would get rid of. Just make sure you guys keep that kind of stuff because these things come in handy every once in a while. And this is the best way, absolute best way to gear up a monk. I actually have all the monk sets. I have all the monk gear to run a DPS monk, but I don't do it. But I did it from just tanking for people. You'd be surprised how often people actually want. And you can also loot share, with whatever other class you want to loot share with. People absolutely love, you know, having a monk in the party. So once again, guys, this has been a pretty long video, nearing close to 10 minutes now, so I'm going to let you go. Questions, comments, concerns can be posted below. We'll answer as soon as possible. If you guys have anything that you would like to see, feel free to post it and we will get back to you. The next video coming out will be my Demon Hunter. Finally got it fully geared, so that video will be coming very shortly. Thanks, guys.